Melissa here. Just want to let everyone know I am getting ready to prepare to start my life off the grid. Um, so I did everything pretty much with my life that you can imagine. I pretty much did everything. I have no regrets. I dated while I was young. I married. I had my family. I did everything hiking, kayaking, roller skating, flying, Mount Washington I just went on. So as I look at my future goals, um, it's going to be, there's a couple things I'm going to be doing. So one is to live off the grid for a while. I was thinking, okay, probably 25,000 saved up in 3 months, but I think what I'm going to be doing is probably getting to 100,000. And I might actually be doing some winter camping too. It depends on how things go. So I'm going to start living off the grid. And, when I grew up, I had like everything I could want. I mean, my mom went shopping for me, got me the nicest clothes in school. I was popular. I had all this stuff. My husband and I enjoyed a house together. So there's really nothing. I'm trying to think what else I haven't done. What's on my bucket list? I think the only thing I would be wanting to do next, besides buying a house, writing a book, that's still something I want to finish up. I mean, I pretty much have my book done. I just need the money to get that edited. What else? I want a sports car down the road. I do want that. What else is on my bucket list? Traveling. I do want to go to Italy and a few other places. So, I'm doing this while I'm still young enough to do this and just work and be extremely focused. When I was homeschooling, I was extremely focused on my family, raising my family up. And so here we go again. And I thought at this point, with my husband and I being married over 34 years, I thought we'd have that house, and be able to slow down in life and, we would have had money if my husband didn't leave, have the money, because I've always worked off and on to help my husband. I thought we would pretty much be, I didn't really have, like, I knew I didn't want to be like the type of older people that retire in Florida and have nothing to do. I knew I didn't want to do that. I knew I wanted to continue making an impact with my life. I mean, being in the pro-life movement has been great for me, and I still plan on doing stuff there. I still plan on doing stuff with a nonprofit. It's just I need to get the money going to do a lot of the things I want to do. So, as I choose to be poor, and to actually lower myself to the point and humble myself to the point of having pretty much nothing, I will be just putting money away, and that is my plan. And my money will work for me 2 or 3 times more than most people's, because I'm not going to have the expenses. And being a minimalist already, I mean, I tend to be somebody who's an introvert, and I see things sometimes other people don't see because I'm so introverted. And, I think it's important to, like, God gives everyone gifts. I'm extremely creative. Um, and I used to dance. I was a dancer when I was growing up. Just a big creative side, homeschooling, thinking outside the box. I was listening to someone today talking about, if you watch Star Wars, you see the Empire, where they're always like, it has to be done this way. And you see the organization of the stormtroopers, and you see even in society where people feel like, it has to be done this way. Life has to be done this way. And it doesn't. There's a million ways to do life, and you can do it on your own terms. And the more money you have, the more you can do it on your own terms too. So I do plan on traveling too. Something I've always wanted to do is travel more. So I've got a lot still going on, but for now, I'm going to be living off the grid. So I did it in the trailer. We lived really, really frugal. when I just had Verizon call me, and I don't know what is up with them. I have my phone here, and they just, it was all paid off, and then they owed me some money because they took money out of my account without permission, and then they gave me a $50 credit, they said, and I haven't gotten it yet. And now they're saying I owe them like $140. This is crazy. I will usually only pay like $40 or something to them at a time for the most part, because I'm not going to pay more than I agreed to. So I usually have to call them. So always set up like a payment plan for way out there. So I set something up for the 18th, and then I will be calling them and saying, hey, look, you actually owe me some money. So I lived off the grid in the trailer, always making phone calls and saying, look, we need help with the cancer. We need to use the resources for WIC, Medicaid, food pantries, etc. Help with Christmas. You don't have to do life like some people do their finances. And I've had family say, my in-laws be like, oh, we pay our bills all the time on time, and we do it this way, my mother-in-law, right? You don't have to do it that way. Do life on your own terms. I had someone say to me they believe in living life your own way, and I agree with that. And as a Christian, that is something I've chose to do with my life. And when you think of Christianity, Jesus was very much outside the box, the way he lived. And I think the more we abide in Christ, the more we walk with God, the more we are going to be outside the box in our thinking. So it's time for, like I said, a whole new life. My husband, there is no more contact. The narcissist, the best thing you can do is have no contact, because they're trying to control you and manipulate you, and they don't really love you. They're just trying to control you. So on with my new life, new adventure, living life how I want. After pretty much, I'm somebody who's pretty empathetic and a caregiver, obviously, with my kids. I was a big caregiver. Somebody who serves people in the restaurant business is a caregiver. Cleaning, I've always served people. And you will have a narcissist take advantage of that because he knows you have a soft spot. You will hear, oh, I'm sorry, I'll change. I'm sorry, I won't do that again. I'll change. I'll do this. I'll do that. And they just, they know that they can get away with stuff if you are not aware of that. So moving forward with my life after giving oh my goodness, 34 years plus dating my husband for 4 years before that, since I was 16, 38 years there, and knowing him for 10 to 12 years before that. So over 40 years, 45 years, close to 50, not 50 because I'm not old enough, but 48 years or so of my life to my husband, whether it be a friend or just someone who, we hung out together, whatever, a boyfriend. I am moving forward with my life, and I will eventually get a motorcycle. That's something I want to do too. Go up to Laconia Bike Week on my own terms. And yeah, I have a lot to do. I still have a lot of living to do. So here goes. This is probably my last face video for a little while because I will be working. After church tomorrow, I will be doing some stuff, and then I will be working a ton, especially starting Tuesday. It'll be even more work. So I did have one of my bosses, this drives me up the wall, say, oh, you know what? I need to schedule you from this time to this time. And I'm like, okay, but I've got a second job, well, okay, then we'll do it, get your hours from that job and then I'll work around it. Okay. Then I hear, well, let's do this time. And so I said yesterday, look, I'm confused because I thought you were going to put me on this many hours and I need solid hours. And they're like, well, because you couldn't work at this time, I put you on at this time. And I'm like, look, you told me you'd work around my job, and well, I didn't know it was at this time. And so I may even end up, later on down the road figuring something else out if this job doesn't work. But I will be holding, 3 or 4 jobs at once. So it's just, I talked to somebody about it and they're like, kick ass, Melissa. And that's exactly what I plan on doing, is really reeling it in after giving so much to my husband and my kids and making sure that they are okay. I know back home there was something that happened, but they're okay. They can handle it on their own. And so it's time for me to take care of me. So I'm looking forward to this next chapter in my life and to take care of myself even more. And you can do that. I mean, I took care of myself when I was raising my kids. I took care of myself. I made sure I had, giving birth was probably the best beginning of taking care of yourself, because you know that in order to have good care for your kids, you learn to be a mother. And I remember when I had my firstborn son, I felt needed and I felt loved. And then that was pretty immature. But then I was maturing as a mother, and you just learn to take very good care of yourself with motherhood. And I was listening to this guy talking about mothers again today, and he was like, women are a gift. He's like, they are a gift to men. If you feminists want to be like a man, you're actually lowering yourself, because men, God says we're equal before him, but he's like, Adam couldn't do it all by himself. He couldn't. He needed a woman to help him. Being a woman is a great gift, and motherhood is a treasure. So, where I talk about motherhood too here, being a mother is one of the best gifts in life, and you do learn to take good care of yourself as you learn to take care of other people, usually. So I'm headed out, and I'm going to kick butt, so to say, and get going with my goals in my life. Okay, thanks for joining me, guys.